everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. I am Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. Thanks for joining me tonight. We do this live stream every Wednesday. It's 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 Eastern for those that might be mountain challenged. Now, we're going to have a good time tonight. I have the shipping report to talk to you about. I have a giveaway to tell you about. Have some neat new fish that have been listed recently to talk about. And then we'll get to your questions and comments and just geek out about aquariums and aquarium fish. So if you were here to find election results, you're in the wrong place. But you could just stay and de-stress a little while, because we're just going to talk about fish, and nothing's as relaxing as aquariums. All right, so let's get to it. The shipping report, we'll start with that, and I am so excited. This is an awesome shipping report. So I was kind of bummed last week because we had dropped just 0.1% down to 98.96% success shipping. But I'm delighted today to report that we're now back up to 98.99%. We've gone up 0.03%. This puts us just 0.01% below our goal of 99% success. So we are 0.01% away from that goal. Really close. So I really hope that next week we can, hang on, it's telling me it's got an error here. What? Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Well, I haven't messed with the keyframe frequency. Open widget. Hang on just a sec. Did it go away? Is it still going, or is it? Let me know what you guys are seeing on your end. Can I just keep going, or do we have a big problem with the stream? It just gave me a notice that it's having a problem. So it's saying this. It's saying error, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We have bad stream health. So you look and sound good. Looks fine. Keep going. Okay, I'll just keep going then. Good enough. Okay, so anyway, where was I? I was talking about, I don't even remember now. I was just like, no, not a technical problem. And my mind went, whoop, it wiped it. Let's see here. I was talking about, I don't even remember. Oh yeah, so we want to be 99% successful at shipping fish to our customers. That's a 12-month running total. So I hope that next week I can tell you that we're at 99%. That would be awesome. We're so close. We're like, we can't get any closer without being there. So, so it looks like this week shipping has been awesome. Looks like very, very few problems, which is great. It is getting cold enough that it's making it easier to put in the right heat packs. So as the weather gets colder and colder, that actually makes shipping the fish kind of easier and easier. I know that's counterintuitive, but it does. Yeah, so I think we're cold enough now that that kind of weird, edge season between it's still warm, but it's also still cold. And sometimes it'll be hot and cold on the same day in the same place where the fish are going and all that. So it's kind of taken some of that guesswork out, which is great. So yeah, if you got fish from us, I hope yours did awesome. If you're one of the few that had a problem, I'm really sorry. Please contact us, hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. Let us know what your problem is, and we will take care of you. All right, with that amazing shipping report, 98.99%, let's get to our giveaway, which is for a classic, a true classic, the Coolie Loach. So these have been a super popular aquarium fish for a long time because, well, look at them. Like, they're little, I don't know, eels, kind of, little snaky things. They're just very unique. Look at that cute little face. Little worms. One of the most unique fish out there are the Pangeo species, the genus in which the Coolie Loaches reside. Super peaceful. Like to be in big groups, the more the merrier. Like in these guys, if you have like a piece of driftwood or something in your tank, they'll all like congregating in that and around that and under that. So big groups of these are the best. They like to be with others of their own kind. Now, they will hide until you feed them. When you feed them, once they've learned, oh, the lid's coming up, that means food, they'll start coming out, or they smell the food in the water. They'll come out and they just feed in a horde, and it's really cool to watch. It's just like this wriggling ball of spaghetti all around the food. But they're very peaceful to other fish, so they do well in a community aquarium. Just make sure they're not kept with anything that's big enough that it has a mouth that could slurp up, you know, a little wormfish, which is basically what these are. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. This whole breakdown of some of the different loaches. I like that. They eat anything. Ours are eating, we kind of rotate veggies with protein. So we'll put in an algae wafer one day, and then we'll put in like a extreme monster pellet the next day, or a big Hikari sinking carnivore pellet or something like that. And then we also do rotate in some frozen foods every now and then as a treat. But in general, these can go well. Oh, whoops, I wasn't done yet. These can do just fine on dry prepared foods as long as they sink. These are only going to eat foods that have sunk down to the bottom. And they're not the quickest food. Like if you put in a big algae wafer or something, they'll like graze on it for quite a while. If you put in baby brine shrimp or bloodworms or something, then they can eat pretty quickly. But do be aware that if it's a larger piece of food, it's going to take them a while to eat their fill, and they'll need to have that dwell time with the food. So if there's other companions in the tank that eat really quickly, then you're going to need to feed the Kuhli loaches food that is small enough that they can kind of eat it fast so they get their fair share. I don't really know what else to say about them. I've already said they're peaceful, they're easy to keep, they're gregarious, they're hardy if they've been, you know, treated properly along the supply chain. And I think they're fantastic. I think they're just a very unique fish. Speaking of feeding, look at that one nom-nomming on a bloodworm. So if you would like to win a group of Coolie loaches tonight, then enter into the hashtag Coolie. So enter that in the chat. Hashtag KUHLI, no spaces, caps don't matter, just one I, not two I's. Enter that in the chat, and you'll be entered to win a group of these little squirmy wormies. Okay, with that, let's see. Looks like now my stream health is excellent, so yay. Like, oh, the ways of the internet. Okay, so that was the shipping report and the giveaway. Just curious how many folks are here. 183 folks are here. Well, hello, folks. Thanks for being here. If you wouldn't mind taking a moment to share this stream out to someone who you think might enjoy this kind of content, I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to grow the channel, trying to grow the stream, and I appreciate the support. Okay, let's move on here to some new stuff that is now available. So one of the things that is available that we've never had before, these blueberry snails. These were, I believe, discovered by Chris Lukup fairly recently. They're a live-bearing snail, and ours have settled in enough that now we're getting quite a few babies. They're this kind of bluish body with orange on them, a really pretty looking body on the snail. And ours have proven to be very hardy. They eat everything. We just feed them sinking foods. We put some zucchini on a fork and toss it in, and it sinks to the bottom. They'll eat that. We give them algae wafers. We give them protein pellets, and they're doing awesome. So far, this is my first time having this snail. So far, it's an enthusiastic 2 thumbs up. They appear to be quite hardy and easy to keep, and they're propagating for us, so that's great. We do have some more cardinal Sulawesi shrimp. These are bred and raised right here at Dan's Fish. We have a colony that's been going for, I don't know, years now, at least a couple years. And they're quite hardy. So if this is a shrimp that you've been avoiding because early on, when they were mostly wild caught, they got a reputation for being delicate, then I would recommend trying some aquarium bred and raised ones right here. They haven't gone through the stress of import. We've been working with them for several generations, and they're doing awesome. Now, do be aware that this is a Caridina shrimp. So you might be thinking, oh no, they need soft water and maybe they like it cool, like a bee shrimp or a crystal shrimp, a crystal red shrimp. They are in the genus Caridina, but these are completely different in their care requirements. These come from the lakes in Sulawesi. These are warm tropical lakes. We keep ours at 79 degrees. Often folks will keep them up into the low 80s. And those lakes are hard and alkaline, so they don't want the soft RO, barely remineralized water at the cooler temperatures that maybe your crystal reds or bee shrimps want. So I'd hate for someone to buy a group of Caridina dennerle thinking that they're similar to the Caridina from which the, what is it? I forget the scientific name. It's not Davidii, that's the cherry shrimp. I can't remember. But anyway, the bee shrimps and the crystal shrimps. So they need to be kept warm and they don't need the soft water or the acidic pH. All right. My favorite killifish, if you look at this and then you look at my logo here, my logo is literally the silhouette of this fish in this picture. I love Aphysium vivittatum, a hardy killifish, an easy killifish to keep and breed and raise, and one of the prettiest fish out there. Here's a female. They don't get the long extensions or the color. They just get these two stripes, hence the scientific name bivittatum. But absolutely stunning, wonderful fish. We do have some more rummy-nosed tetras. If you've had trouble keeping rummy-nosed tetras alive, I'd recommend you try these. We have a good supplier of them who treats them well. And we, at this point, have pretty good success with them. Now, rummy-nose are still one of the fish that we do have the most trouble with. They are more delicate than other fish. But even though we have more trouble with them, it's still barely any. So almost everyone that gets these from us is successful with them. So if you like rummy-nosed tetras and you've had trouble with them in the past, I'd recommend trying some. And you know, we fully guarantee all our fish. If anything arrives in bad shape or dead, you know, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But if there's problems, then just send us an email, send us a picture, and we'll refund the cost of the fish, plus the shipping associated with the fish. So there's no financial risk to you trying fish from dansfish.com because we guarantee they'll arrive alive. So if you get them and they're dead, we'll take care of it. If you get them and they're alive, but they're like not doing well, we'll take care of it. We got your back. Okay, this one is also exciting. This is the true freshwater bumblebee goby. This is Brachygobia xanthomelis. I like bumblebee gobies, but I hate brackish water. I don't hate brackish water. I don't like mixing and changing salt and water. I don't like how it gets all up my arms and makes them itchy or anything like that. I like brackish water. I just don't like dealing with it. And I like the fish in brackish water. I just don't like dealing with the water, which means this is a perfect fish for me because this fish in nature comes from pure fresh water. Most bumblebee gobies benefit greatly from a little bit of salt in their water. These guys don't. So I really like this species. Has all the antics and everything of a normal Dorrier or other common species of bumblebee goby, but you can keep them in pure fresh water their entire life and they'll be absolutely happy with that. Just a few more of the longfin cherry barbs. I do plan to bring more of these in. They are the most stunning of the longfin cherry barbs I've ever seen. A deep, deep red. In fact, don't take my word for it. If you're watching this and you've got these longfin cherry barbs from us that were raised in Europe, if you've got those from us, the ones we've had available for the last month or two, would you chime in and let us know what you think? Do you agree? Like, to me, I think they're the deep, deep red and the fins are nice and long. So I think they're the nicest ones I've ever seen. Curious if you guys who have bought them from us agree. And that might help someone who's thinking about getting some. You know, if everyone in the chat is like, no, they actually kind of suck, then they'll be like, oh, I know not to buy those, right? But I doubt that'll be the case. I've seen a lot of longfin cherry barbs in my time, and these are amazing. Some mystery snails. These are the magenta colored ones. These are bred and raised by a hobbyist right here in the United States. This is an absolutely stunning fish. These platies, these fancy sunrise hyphen platies, they have really nice finnage, good contrast of the orange, a lot of orange on them with the yellow. Look at these things. There's the females. Just this breeder does a really good job. Of all the sunrise strains I've seen of platies, this is the nicest one, and we've got several batches from this breeder, and they're pretty steadily nice. Nothobranchus rubropinnis. These, we did have someone reach out and say they thought these might be cardinalis. Cardinalis used to be classified as rubropinnis, and it's so hard to tell the two apart. So if you're a Kuhli nut, Mitchell Broom or some of you others who are really knowledgeable about Kuhlis, what do you think? We listed these as rubropinnis. You think they're cardinalis? Like, if you get on the website and take a close look at the pictures, maybe you can help direct us on that. It's hard though, like, so I'll go on authoritative websites like the British Killifish website, and I'll look at the pictures side by side of rubropinnis and cardinalis, and I'm like, I can't tell. I can't tell. So, but you know, that thought has been put in our head by a killifish hobbyist who's a customer, and so we're thinking maybe they are. Like, yeah, if our suppliers don't identify them correctly, then sometimes it's difficult for us to know for sure. Either way, these are gorgeous fish. They're hardy. I think the best batch of Nothobranchus we've ever had is this particular one of this particular species. They're just doing great. They're fat, they're sassy, they're breeding in the tank, they're eating everything, acting completely healthy. So, yeah. Okay, what else do we got? The blue zebra hillstream loach. These have a nice blue iridescent tail, and I finally got a picture that shows that a little bit. It doesn't show it really well. You can kind of see it here as well. But I'm not a good photographer, so I don't get it as well as I wish I could. The mega clown plecos are selling really well, and people are having good luck with these. Doing great. Longfin rosy barbs. Brought these in because I was visiting Corey in Washington at Aquarium Co-op, and he had a bunch, and he was mentioning how they eat hair algae. I did not know that this fish ate hair algae, and they're beautiful fish, and I hadn't had them in a while, and so I brought some in. So now when folks ask, what can I get that eats hair algae and is not a blank, you know, then I can say, have you tried this? I do need to give a shout out to these two species of mollies. So these copper sailfin mollies are pretty awesome. See this kind of metallic sheen on the females, this copper color? That kind of infuses them. And the males have it too, but they also have a lot of orange and things. It's got kind of this copper color here. And it's clearly different than a gold or an orange. It has this kind of metallic thing going on. Really beautiful fish. I don't see them around that often. The ones we have are doing excellent. So if you like, you know, mollies that are kind of a little bit different, this might be a good one to try. And then these guys, this I truly think is the highest quality saffron molly I've ever seen after doing this for 30 plus years. This line, this is our 4th or 5th or 6th group we've got from this breeder, and they do a great job on the line. It takes a while for them to grow up. For the first few months, they're not going to look like much when they're just 1.5 inches or so. But when they get up to around 3 inches, the body fills out and they get this amazing sail fin. And they really are a great looking fish. When I first got them, I was unimpressed because we got them, they were 1.5 inches or something like that. And they just looked like, and they didn't even have their high fins yet. And I'd paid a really pretty penny for these saffron orange sail fin mollies, right? Bred and raised by a breeder in Europe. And I was kind of disgruntled about it. And when I first saw them in the bag, they were small. They just looked like a orange, yellowish molly, no high fins or anything. And I was like, I paid that for those? Like, no one's going to buy these. So they just sat in a tank for a while, and then they grew. It took a few months, but I think 3 months later, something like that, they'd grown to the point where they started really developing this amazing sail fin. They had bulked up and got that nice big robust body, and they have like these serrated scales. This is not dropsy. So if you look at this fish, if you go to the website and look at this listing, you'll see like these serrations kind of sticking out from the scales. And often that's a sign of like a sick fish. Not in this case. This is normal for this fish. They just have this rough edging on their scales, which is, to me, unique in the domesticated molly world. I've never seen that before. Maybe you guys have. But for domesticated mollies, I had never seen that. Just, we're out of most of the volcanums, the Aphyosema volcanums. We just have a male left, I believe. So if you need a male, we have some really nice ones that have been hardy from the get-go and have been doing great for us the entire time that we've had them. Some more Kuhlis, Phonolopanthax emiati. I like the blue contrasting the orange and yellow on these guys. A hardy bash that's been doing well for us from the get-go. Here's some females. That's what the females look like. Very easy fish to keep and breed if you want to try killifish. Some dwarf emerald rasboras. Thank you to Chris Luca for allowing us to use this picture, because this is the best picture I've been able to take. That and that. Chris got them and shows them and really, you know, what they really look like. Although I do have to say, there is some really nice iridescence that the camera still is not picking up. It's very difficult to pick up the iridescence on these guys. A sister species to the CPD, Celestial Pearl Danio, and the Glow Light Danio. Just a few more Montezuma swordtails. We had some that we thought were females, and they were kind of small, and so we're like, okay, let's let them grow out. And hey, at least one male appeared from there. So we do have some more Montezumas. Some more of the cherry red tetras from Muzel. I was hesitant to bring these guys in because at 24 bucks a pop, it's like, oh, that's a lot to charge someone. But they've been selling really well, and the people we bought them from have been having really good luck with them. So really nice, bright red tetra. Okay, there are a couple other things I need to highlight if you'll permit me a few more minutes before we get to your questions and comments. This is one of them. So the Platinum Red-tailed Dumbo-eared Guppy. This batch that we have right now is a super nice batch. We've had a batch in the past where the females didn't have as much red on the tail. Some of the females have blue tails. They're just a little bit less consistent than they've been before. But the batch we have right now looks really good. It looks like this. Nice, big Dumbos, red tails, red dorsals. In the females, if I can find a picture of a female here. Is there a female in this group? The females have red or reddish tails. So it's this is a really good example of the strain, the ones we have in right now. The last batch we got in, we actually discounted because we're like, this is just not quite as nice. So we discounted it. We put a note up there that was like, yeah, these are sold for less because they're not quite as nice. These are up to par. These are really good, high quality platinum red-tailed Dumbo ears. So if you want a breeding project and you were holding out for some really nice ones, this is the group. See here, I think the rest of this stuff we pretty much went over last week. So, and I've been rambling for, you know, almost half an hour. So I think I'll stop and get to your questions and comments. But anyway, the bottom line is there's a bunch of new stuff listed at dansfish.com. And the stuff that we've listed is healthy and hardy and doing awesome. So we really think it'll thrive for you. If it doesn't, let us know and we'll take care of you if you have a problem. T-Shot's back. Hey, T-Shot, good to see you. Thanks for being a member, by the way, T-Shot. Haven't been around for a while. Bad news. Lost my Sultan Pleco. Oh, no. It's been a tough month fish keeping for me, trying to get everything back in line. Oh, I'm sorry, T-Shot. So this is a, let's see, do we have a picture of this? Hang on. We might. Can't remember if it's right here or not. Anyway, T-Shot bought a Sultan Pleco from us. is it 4 years now? And kept us in the loop as it kind of grew up and got big and all that stuff. So I'm really, really sorry to hear that, T-Shot. That's a bummer. I'm glad though that, you know, that Pleco had 4 years with you. And yeah, when there's an issue with a tank and the parameters go out of whack, or we move, or a heater goes out or something like that, it's a bummer. I totally get it. Brandlin, can we pre-order fish? No, we don't do that. Keeping track of that sounds like a nightmare, and I don't want to tie up your money on a fish and then have it like not arrive. So I don't control as much as people maybe think I do. So I work with suppliers that treat the fish humanely and ship in very low densities. That I can do. But what I can't do is make sure that they always send me everything I order. Often you order from a supplier and you're shorted things because they put it on their list, but they didn't actually have them, or they sold out, or they got ill, or something, right? So I just think in a business where the supply chain is how do you put it? A bit unreliable. Like you don't know if what you order is what you're going to get, or if anything's going to show up at all sometimes. I don't want to have a customer tie up their money with me on a pre-order and then 6 months later be like, yeah, I know, sorry, I keep ordering, it's still not showing up. Like, and then managing that, like the customer service time and everything to manage all that, it just sounds like a nightmare to me. So we don't. What we do instead, if you go here, is if you go to an item that you want, but you want later, if you open this, you can click add to wish list, and you can add that to your wish list. And then next time it comes in stock, you'll get an email automatically notifying you. Or if you want something that is out of stock, these are fish that are currently out of stock, then you can click add to wish list on those as well. So if it's not in stock and you want it, you can click there and get that. If it's in stock and you want it, but maybe not right now, then you can click that. Maybe you're not ready for it at this moment. So that's what we do in lieu of pre-orders. It's just, it's too unreliable, this industry, to do pre-orders. Michael Lawson, too, been a member for 4 months. Itching my way to half a year. Itching or inching? Well, you said itching. Itching my way to half a year. Just wondering, are you guys going to have Black Friday sale or no? So Michael Lawson, too, we actually don't do sales ever. I'm debating in my mind whether I go into the rant of why, because I did it a few weeks ago. So I'll just give you the basics. What I don't want to do, there's a couple things I'm trying to avoid. One is I don't want to put something on sale and then have someone experience FOMO and order it before they are ready for it. So if there's a fish that someone really wants and we get it and then the price drops and it's on sale, they might be like, oh, I've got to buy it now, it's on sale. Even if they don't have an aquarium properly set up and stabilized and waiting for them, right? And then the odds of them having success with that fish are diminished substantially in a case like this. To have success with fish, it's best if you have an environment set up that's stable and ready and proper, and then you put the fish in it, as opposed to, I ordered these fish because they were on sale, now I got to scramble and hope I can get something set up that they'll do okay in. So I'm trying to avoid that. I don't think that's good for the customer or for the fish. The other thing I'm trying to avoid is being a company that relies on gimmicks to get sales. So I don't want to be a company that raises my prices and then the next week drops them so I can say we have a sale, or any of those things. If I'm relying on sales to drive purchases, then my incentive is to do whatever it takes to get those sales going. And you can get some gimmicky stuff happening that way. So I don't want that incentive. I don't want that kind of pressure on my business, because I believe truly that people follow their incentives. No matter their intentions, if the right incentive is putting pressure on them for long enough over time, it's very likely they're just gonna, well, it's okay, fine, I'll just do that, right? I don't want that. I try to incentivize, I tried to build a company where the incentives are lined up in a way that is in tandem with our mission of our customers having success through humanely sourced and transported fish. That's what we're trying to accomplish. And then the other thing is, expensive as our fish are, we can't mark them down and stay in business. So we mark up the bare minimum we need to stay in business and pay the employees and pay the utility bill and have money left over to buy inventory for the next round and all that stuff. So we actually don't have the margin to run sales. Believe it or not, with as expensive as we are, the reason we're that expensive is because that's how much it costs to get the fish, to treat the fish humanely at all steps of the supply chain, put them through the quarantine, put them through the diagnostic lab, pack them individually, and properly give them the couple of days it takes to prepare them fully for shipping and do all that. That's the true cost of the fish if they're humanely treated through the supply chain, and if everything's done possible to make sure they're healthy and happy and give them the best chance of success. So even though we're super expensive, that's not due to extra profit margin, it's due to extra costs. So we don't do sales for those reasons. And then also, I guess a kind of, I don't know, selfish reason maybe is because I don't want to train my customer base to not buy until there's a sale. Because then you go through these weird cash flow periods in a business where you have very few sales and then purchases, and then you put something on, you do a big sale and suddenly you have tons of purchases, and then you go through this. I don't want that. That would be difficult cash flow. So my business thrives on cash flow. If cash is not moving through the business, I will go out of business quickly. I need the cash to flow into the inventory, and then I need to have it flow out of the inventory so I can pay all the bills we have and make a living, and then have enough cash left over to flow it back into inventory. It's just it's going like this all the time. And if that flow gets interrupted, it gets difficult. Dan Brown, thank you for your live fish guarantee. I recently experienced losing an $80 fish from another company that didn't last 20 hours. Oh, no refund at all. They just blamed me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, that's no fun. So there's some pain points that we're trying to make sure people don't experience when they shop here. And it's pain points like that. So all my life I've kept fish since I was a kid in junior high school. And things like that would really bother me. When I would order a fish and it would arrive and it was alive, but clearly it wasn't doing well and it was probably not going to last very long. And you would let the seller know and they'd be like, we have live arrival guarantee. That's it. Okay. I mean, it did technically arrive alive. Or if something did arrive DOA and you took the picture and sent it and they honored their guarantee would usually be a credit. And if you ever got a cash refund, it didn't cover shipping. It was only for the amount of the fish. So the customer was just at high risk in every situation. If something went wrong, the customer was going to eat it, no matter what. And I was like, how do I structure this so that doesn't happen? And that's another reason our fish are maybe more expensive. So when something does go wrong, we can actually take care of the customer fully. Now, there are cases where we go like, I don't know. So if the fish arrives and we don't hear anything for a couple weeks, and then 2-3 weeks later, someone contacts us and says, hey, those fish you sent me, they arrived in bad shape and now they're dying. Then my thought is like, well, if they arrived in bad shape, why didn't you tell me then? So situations like that will often be like, I'm sorry, you needed to let us know there was a problem from the get-go, so we were aware of it. When you wait a few weeks and then say there's a problem, it makes us think, was there? Like, we have no documentation of this. So there are cases where we have to use our judgment and try to figure it out, but our mission is to make sure that the customer is successful in whatever they're trying to do with the fish that we send them. So if they're trying to breed, and they buy a pair and the female dies, then we owe them a new female if we've got one, right? Because their success for them is being able to breed this fish. It's not just having a lone male by itself, pretty as the male might be. So we try to figure out what the customer's trying to do and do whatever we can to make them successful. Now, if they bought the last pair and we don't have a spare female, then all we can do is refund. But, you know, but that's what we're trying to do. And I think we have some work on that. It's sometimes we don't understand the situation fully and we make a decision, then later we get more information from the customer. We're like, oh, well, if we would have known that, you know. So, but we really do try to make the customer be successful. And I ordered 3 longfin cherry barbs from you, and they are doing great. Beautiful deep red on 2, which may be the males. Yeah, the other is just slightly less vibrant, probably the female. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Let's see if anyone else has gotten any of those. Well, at least one person agrees with me that they're pretty awesome. All right, we'll see if any others pop up as we go through. I'm just scrolling a little bit here. Oh. Do cherry barb males and females look the same for quite some time while juvenile? Yeah, they look brown with maybe a little bit of red on them. And then the males mature Mikey fish tanks and turn cherry red, hence the name. Chiming in for those longfin cherry barbs, they are stunning, says Mirik. Hey Mirik, I hope you're doing really well. Scrolling up again to see. Love the cherry barb, says Michael Prince. It seems like love the cherry barb, says MC. Yeah, it seems like most folks that have got the cherry barbs, well, everyone that chimed in about them, agrees with me that they're pretty, I think they're pretty special as far as longfin cherry barbs goes. And they better be, because what are we selling those for? Some ridiculous price. Yeah, $12.99. That's a lot for a cherry barb. Longfin cherry. I bet the market is just a lot less. Yeah, I'm seeing longfin cherry barbs anywhere from $1.99, $5.99, $7.49. All right. $3.99, $4.49. So we're 2 to 6 times more expensive than the average seller of cherry barbs, but I can't get cherry barbs of that quality without paying a lot for them. So yeah, I think it's worth it. When you get them and you look at them, so it was a bit of a gamble. I almost didn't get them because I was like, what if they're not good? Like, these cost me so much. What if they're not good? And then I got them. I looked at them in the bag and I was like, yes! Like, thank goodness. Big Steve is giving away a Dan's Fish membership. Thank you so much, Big Steve. To whoever won that membership, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Fishmonger crew. Gary Williams, after 26 months, I have to unfortunately say goodbye to my membership. I enjoyed being one of the OG members. I may get back later. Hey, Gary, no worries at all. There's no pressure for anyone to be a member. But thanks for being a member. While you did, I mean, geez, 26 months. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Appreciate the support. Kaler's Reptiles and Aquatics. Throwing hiya. Oh, geez, that's a new one. I haven't seen this super sticker before. Oh, wait. Have I been on the wrong screen the whole time? Hopefully not. I haven't seen this one where it pops up from behind the cloud. Michael Lawson, throwing down a super chat. Michael, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Never required, but every little bit does help. Stream Health, how are we doing? Looks like it's buffering. Is it buffering? I hope it's not buffering. Says the stream health is excellent, but I see this little symbol here spinning around. That's no good. Well, we'll keep going until we hear that things are bad. Fluffy Cow. Hey, Fluffy. Hope you're doing well. Hoping to order fish now that I'm finally getting all my fish moved around. Have to send you a picture of the Mikolji Oscars almost full grown. Oh, man, I can't wait. Please do. I'd like to see them as adults. Yeah. There was another error on the stream health. Ah, that's just frustrating. I just don't control the internet, you know? Gifted 10 Dancefish memberships. Swamp Thing. Wowzer. Thank you so much for your generous support. Much appreciated. Much, much appreciated. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the chat here just to see if people lost me completely. Okay. Let's see here. Exit stream, then re-enter. Okay. I'll try that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try that. Okay, I think you guys can probably still see me maybe, but I'm rebooting here because that got weird. Okay, let's see if is this any better? Dan, it's not you? Oh. They were telling someone else to do that. Sorry, I got this another error here that said that stream health was bad, and so I assumed the comment was for me. Oh well. Yeah. Go figure. Hang on, I gotta pop out my chat and get this all back. Just one moment here. And I'll be right back with you. Okay. There we are. Hey, despite that, there's still 241 folks here watching. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate you being here, despite the, you know, technical difficulties, even if they're not real. the fake technical difficulty that tricked me. Okay, so because of that, I missed some of the chat. So the next one I can see is Carrie Britton saying, I have your blonde koi guppies and hyphen sunrise platies breeding. It's doing great. They are breeding 100% true. That's what I like to hear. Getting colonies going and will separate and line breed. Very excited. Thanks. Hey, Carrie, I'm glad to hear that. Man, I'd love to buy tons of those hyphen sunrise platies from you and those guppies as well. I hope you produce a ton. And if you do, and I can buy them back from you, that would be awesome. Anytime I can buy a fish from a hobbyist, instead of having to put it through the stress of import, I'd rather do that. Where is Johnny tonight? I don't know, but Johnny had a really long day. So we had an import land a little later than normal, and folks were here till after the stream started. So some of these folks have started at like 6, 7 this morning and pulled in all day. And so, you know, it's like, go home, eat dinner, and rest, Johnny. Like, the guys put in a long, long day, as have many other members of the crew. The Romanose Rasbora I bought from you a few weeks ago have bred, and I have some fry growing out. Kuhli, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear they're doing well and that they're breeding for you. That's great. That warms the old heart. Hey, holy cow. It looks like I missed some of these. And Jody P gifted 20 Dancefish memberships. Wow, Jody, thank you. So generous of you. I greatly appreciate that. Mountain Greenery, Danny-O for life. Thanks for being a Danny-O. All you Danny-Os and Danny-Oellas who are members of the channel. And Heather Green says, I bought a Pistogramma cat cockatoides, double reds from you, and they are on their second spawn. Oh, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It just makes, you know, this makes this is why I do this. Besides the fact that I love fish, is I love seeing people be successful with the fish and breed them and get them out there. That's great. Geek Boy, send tired Johnny to the clash. More of the push for the clash. How did that start? I'm curious how that started. Yeah. It's all good, says Fluffy Cow. Gina, hi Dan. Is it hard to source Hestotis corridors? Yes. I can never find them for sale. Yes. There's one supplier that I can bring them in from, and they have them occasionally. And when they have them, I tend to bring them in. But yes, Hestotis is hard. Habrosis is not super easy. The dwarf species that is usually available is Pygmaeus, the pygmy cory. But of those three, Histotus is the hardest to find. Okay. Hey, okay, so Big Steve and Jody are also saying send Johnny to the Clash. I mean, if we get enough super chats to send Johnny to the Clash, then I'll kind of have no choice. And I mean, I would like to do that. He does deserve it. Like, I could use a fish trip. Merb 34th. 34th Street? Yeah. Will your African banded barbs work in a tank with Turricana jewels and demasonized cichlids? No. The African banded barbs are a docile, peaceful, small barb. They're not like a filament barb or a mascara barb or an Aurelius barb or something like that is big and fast and can maybe hold its own against some cichlids. So the African banded barbs are definitely not the right fish for that combination. I'd put them with things like Corydoras and just peaceful, chill aquarium, community fish. Fluffy Cow Aquatics, mobile users may be having issues, have 2 streams running, and the mobile has gone down twice. Huh. Yeah, I mean, who knows the mysteries of the internets. Best episto to breed in hard water, Borellii, Cockatoides, or McMasteri. I would say it's a toss-up. I think Borellii, its habitat kind of swings out of the tropical regions into the temperate regions, and so that one might be more likely to be breedable in harder water. But Cockatoides and McMasteri have been bred in aquariums for so long, so many generations, that they might have become adapted to hard water enough as well. So I guess what I would say is a strain of Borellii that has been in aquariums for a long, long time. That's my guess, Brant and Lightcap, but I don't know for sure. How has it been over a year being a member? Still loving every moment of doing it. Doing a great job, Dan. Hey, thanks, W Robo. I appreciate it. Thanks for your membership, for that continued support every month. It's appreciated, it's noted, and it's helpful. Send Johnny to the Clash, says Nancy B. And Michael Lawson says, hey, Dan, I just got a zigzag eel from Aquashella. It's in a 60 breeder to grow out. Any tank mates you'd recommend? Tetras, maybe? So I have to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of experience keeping large eels like fire eels and zigzags and peacocks and stuff. But I think that pretty much any fish that it can't fit in its mouth, it's going to be fine. I don't find the eels go out of their way to, like, chew on fish that they can't swallow or anything like that. But I'm hesitant to give you any, to talk much about it just because I haven't done it in my own experience. And when I talk on these streams, what I'm trying to do is say things that I know to be true in my own experience and not just regurgitate things that I've heard or whatever. So, yeah, does someone here know, for Michael Lawson, does someone here have a zigzag eel, and what have you kept with it? Join to the Clash or bust, says Eric Wyrock. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, everybody. Killer Kitty 08, not to be outdone. Yeah, I wish Johnny was here to feel this love. He deserves an evening off, though. That guy worked a long time today. Roomscaper P. Glover. Would you consider the Bloody Mary Hillstream Loach to be as easy to breed as the reticulated Hillstream? I can't find any info on breeding gastromyzon. There is some info out there on breeding gastromyzon, and from the articles I've read, they don't seem to be very difficult. I think Chennai, there was an article about them and a few others, but I don't have any experience, nor know anyone that has had experience breeding the Bloody Mary, a hillstream loach. And I don't know of any articles on that one specifically. So Gastromyzon as a genus has lots of different species in it. And some of the species in it are breedable from what I remember. That being said, it's been quite a while since I dug deep into that. But from what I remember, is Chennai still a Gastromyzon, or did they change that? Gastromyzon Chennai. Breeding behavior. Okay. Yeah, so Gastromyzon, I think Chennai is still Gastromyzon from what I'm seeing here. So a great place for information about loaches is loaches.com. And here's one of the forms over there talking about Gastromyzon. Now, this was in 2006. Okay, so they might not be Gastromyzon anymore. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But since 2006, a lot could have changed on the classification. So I don't know how easy the Bloody Marys are to breed. I know they're easy to keep. In my experience, they're very hardy. I just treat them the same as reticulated hillstream loaches, and they do great. You're glitching, says Killer. Looks like that was probably a while ago. I think it's recovered. Alyssa, thoughts and feelings about keeping cribs and electric blue acaras together. I think that you could do that. I haven't tried it, so I can't guarantee it, but knowing both those species, I think you could. I've kept electric blue acaras with apistos before. There was a lot of cover in the tank and things that the apistos could go to, and those apistos raised a bunch of babies in that tank, and the electric blue acaras bred in that tank as well. So I've kept those two together. So it makes me think that you could keep pelvic achromis as well, is my guess. I haven't tried it though. Jackson, do hobbyists want to sell you their fish need to become a business? I don't know. Like all I need in order to buy from a hobbyist is that the hobbyist has raised a bunch of fish that I need. Like, I don't care if you're a business or just someone that has some tanks in your living room. I don't care. I'll buy from hobbyists without them being a business. Now, that being said, I don't know what the regulations are in your state, county, and city about selling. Maybe if you sell fish over a certain amount, then maybe you need to get a business license or something like that. I don't know. But for me to buy from you, I don't care. I just want you to have a group of nice, healthy fish I can buy. It's up to you to know your local regulations. Joey Lowell, can you tell me why the Java moss I had went bad? It got all cottony and had a very bad smell. I know it was the moss as I took it out, and the fish are doing better. The others died. I don't know what killed it, but if the moss is decaying and smelly, it's obviously dead. Yeah, I believe you on that. But I don't know. I don't know if there was some medication put in the water. I don't know if... Like, Java moss is pretty tough. It's pretty hard to kill. And also, did you have it for a long time? Did you have this, like, moss for years and then one day it just died? Or did you just purchase it from somewhere, put it in the tank, and it died? Like, in that case, I wouldn't be as surprised. I wouldn't know exactly why it died, but if it's brand new in there and it just went through all the stress of being shipped and then being put in totally new water parameters and stuff, I could see it dying back big time. I'm not a plant expert, but that makes sense to me. Now, exactly why it did, I don't know. Did it get frozen? Was it really cold when it was shipped? I don't know. I wish I could help you more. I don't know much about plants. Although Java moss is one plant that I have a lot of experience with. I've kept it for decades, and I really like it. One of the few plants I've kept long term. I snagged some Epistle McMaster from you. I've got mega hard water like you and would like to breed them. Could I do it in tap water, or do I need to mix in RO water to get them breeding? I don't know. I think you could try it in your hard water at first. And if they spawn and the eggs aren't fertile and they do that a few times, then maybe I try cutting in some RO and seeing if that helps. But they might be able to breed just fine in hard water. There's so many strains of McMasteri from so many different areas. And I'm not talking in the wild, although there's that too. I mean, like in aquariums, like so many different parts of the country and parts of the world are developing these fish. So, you know, they could very well do fine in hard water, but I would just try it. And if it doesn't work, I'd cut in RO and see if that helps. Servile Steve, I have a 125-gallon community tank. That is like my favorite size tank. Such a good size tank. 6 feet long. Oh yeah, awesome. Anyway, you have that tank with Congo tetras, Buenos Aires tetras, Serpe tetras, lemon tetras, and bottom dwellers. What fish can I add that will add pop and are not silver? Well, it's going to have to be something that won't get nipped, because Buenos Aires tetras and Serpe tetras can be a little bit nippy. But if you have big groups of those, that'll help with that. I mean, for some reason, I'm thinking cherry barbs right now. Maybe not the long fins, but like the golds, those will add pop. I'm thinking also of like a school of bright yellow platies. Those will definitely add some pop to that tank. Like a neon yellow calico platy or a solid yellow hyphen. Well, you might want to avoid hyphens if the Serpes and Buenos Aires are in there. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they won't nip, but, you know, they could. But I would look for gold or copper sailfin mollies. I think those would be fine. Those have high fins, but they're natural high fins. They aren't kind of those extra frail, you know, extra branched fins that the domesticated strains have. And mollies are pretty robust, can hold their own. Yeah, I'm going to go with like a large sailfin molly. That's what I'm thinking. A gold or a copper maybe. A red would be nice. Mr. WW. Best 2 to 3 killies to try for the first time killie breeding. Want to add to wish list. Okay, so let me show you the ones that I think would be awesome. So, any of these on the top row are super easy. I would avoid clown killifish just because they have such small eggs and the babies are very small. And so they'll be harder to raise. These are super hardy, the Wonder Killies. And if you want one that isn't $99 a pair, then start with the Golden Wonder. They're $9.99. That is a hardy fish that's easy to breed and raise. The Golden Lyre-tail Killie is the first killifish that many, many killifish hobbyists have started with. That's a good beginner's fish. I'd probably wait on Blue Gularis if you don't have much experience with fish breeding, not because they're especially difficult, but they're a little bit of a step above the ones I'm talking about now. Striatum, beautiful, very easy to breed. Same with Gabuens. Same with Sheili. These guys are bulletproof. The Epiplates de Gei, this is one of the easiest fish to get started with if you're into killies, for sure. Same with the Aplochilus panchax and the Blockii. Although the Blockii have smaller fry as well. I think they're big enough, though, to eat baby brine right away. So those are the ones that I think I would start with. If you can find Phonolopanchax gardneri, it doesn't look like I have any available right now, so it didn't pop into my mind, but if you can get Phonolopanchax gardneri, it's beautiful, it's easy, it's hardy, it's prolific. That to me is the ultimate starter killie. And I'll show you what that looks like in case that scientific name doesn't make any sense. This is Phonolopanchax gardneri. Just about the easiest fish to start with. So that's a great one. But any of the ones that I showed you, oh, shoot. It should be fine. Oh, jeez. I meant to close the GardenRide tab and I accidentally closed the YouTube tab, so it's starting again here. It's a night for that kind of thing, isn't it? Okay, here we go. I think we're all back. You guys probably didn't notice, but for me, how did I do that? I just clicked the X on the wrong tab. My defense, it has been a long day. Have someone traveling across the country to come work with us, and so I spent most of the day prepping for them, and then after that had to do some things here and get the import going and everything. So my mind is just okay. I think I'm back. Hang on, let me get a drink here and then we will continue. 328 folks here. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's make this exciting and invite all of our X's into the stream. Let's do that. If you have an X, invite them in. It'll be lively. Excuse me. I grabbed some Nothobronchius arachivae from Dan last week, and they are already spawning for me, says Heather. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I have several gastromyzon from you, and Monday I saw this dark fish that has the body of my gastromyzon about 3-4 inches big. They must have had babies, pH around 7.6. Oh, Christina, that's so exciting. So it sounds like Christina's breeding them without any effort at all. It sounds like they just showed up. What are your thoughts on... Okay, I don't know the Sakara. How do you say that? Bucklecough? Akara? I mean, I don't know. Let's look. Do I even know this fish? Oh, Laeticara. So I've had a few species of Laeticara. I don't know if I've ever had this specific one. Pretty little fish, so I can't speak to it. I have had a few though. I've had like right now we have some golden eyes. What is that? Is that Anomala? Golden eye Nanacara Anomala? Nanacara. Yeah, I believe that's one we have. Although that's not a Laeticara, that's a Nanacara. But we have had Laeticara, I believe, fulvipinus. So here's the ones we've kept. Theri. Oh, I have had this one that you're asking about. Look at that. So I haven't had the one from... Okay, so Bucklehoff, that's not a scientific name. That is a common name. So yes, I have had these. And in my experience, they were easy to raise. We haven't had trouble with those. The only time we've had trouble is if something came in wild caught and took a while to recover from shipping. But in general, these are very peaceful for cichlids. They're quite peaceful, hardy, and easy. So we didn't have any trouble with these at all. So we call them the smiling dwarf Akara, not the Bucklecough Akara. But that's common names for you. Like, there'll be 5 common names for any given scientific name in this trade. Makes it a little confusing. All right. I think, did I miss, hopefully I didn't miss any super chats. Stephen P, 2003, Aquatics, Johnny for the Clash. Johnny should keep a running spreadsheet of these. Yeah. More work for Johnny. I agree, Johnny. Keep a spreadsheet. That's all he needs, more work. I think it's absolutely awesome that you teamed up with Chris Luca. He is one of my favorite underwater aquarium photographers. Yeah, he takes great pictures. Like, when I saw his pictures and saw my pictures, I was like, whew, Whew, thank goodness this guy is willing to do this. And I don't know if it's available yet, but he's writing a new book on crayfish. So if you're into crawdads, if it's not out yet, it should be soon. Thanks for the Bloody Mary Loach advice. You got close to the name. RuneScape, a video game. Yeah, I remember that from back in the day. RPG Lover. Oh, it's RPG Lover, not RP Glover. Heading to bed. Have a good night. All right, you too. Evan Angelo. I have 6 half-dollar black angels who show ghost stripes and blue iridescence. Will they breed out true black? Oh, I have no idea. You'd have to try it and see. Like, I don't know what the genetics of the parents was, and I truthfully don't. Besides like a simple recessive here and there, I don't know much about the genetics of angelfish. Here's what I do know is most of the domesticated strains of angelfish have many, many different genes in them going back decades and decades and decades. So you could breed those and have many different kinds of angels come out. So I don't know if they'll breed true. The Java moss is not dead. It was still alive when I took it out. And no, I got it from my sister. When it was on top of the water, it got hard and crusty. All was fine till it went bad. So if it's on top of the water and it's kind of growing out of the water a little bit, it'll change form. It'll become much harder and more supportive because then that's the the immersed is the form under the water, and the emerged is when it's emerging from the water. So aquatic plants look and feel and are very different based on if they're growing under the water or out of the water. So if it got hard and crusty, but was still alive, that's probably just it trying to adapt to being out of the water. But Joey, bottom line is I know almost nothing about plants, so unfortunately I'm not the right guy to answer your question. I just don't know much about them. Oh, dang it. Chat just jumped. So let me scroll here. Mikey Fish Tanks. Who should I order for a species only 7-gallon rimless with a large Java moss tree in the center that would potentially breed without interjection? Okay, moderately hard water. I think I'd go for CPDs. That's one option. Clown killifish, that's another option. Yeah, I think CPDs or one of their close relatives are an ideal candidate for that. That type of ton of Java moss, you just want a colony that'll kind of self-perpetuate. That's what I would go with, something like that. The Rominos rasboras might be a good choice as well. They don't come from soft acidic water in nature. So if your pH is moderately hard, that would probably be fine for them. They probably breed successfully. And if there's enough Java moss in that kind of center tree, then some of the babies should live. Dan Brown, do you still have a video documenting your water flow system? I can't seem to find it. I do have some, but if you go to Steenfod Aquatics channel, he did the most recent in-depth documentation of it. Michael Prince, Dan Swish is the best. Well, geez, thanks, Michael Prince. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm just trying to fulfill my mission. I'm trying to get you fish that will thrive for you, that have been treated humanely. That's really it. Not sharing the screen, says Fluffy Cow. Yeah, I wonder how long I did that for. Like, could have been 20 minutes and I didn't even realize it. Oh, yep. Like, until I have a producer that, I don't know if I ever will. I don't plan on it, but that's what it would take. Like someone that's like by my side, like is like, hey Dan, you're not. Oh yeah, thanks. Like when it's just me, what I see is different from what you see. So, you know, it's yeah. I'm the worst. Christina, I think I have bryozoan in my wild betta breeding tanks. Huh? Do you know anything about this? I've heard of it. I know it's like a colony of microbes, right? They're tiny, kind of look like crystals, and later get branching type arms. Not Hydra though. Yeah, I know very little about them, but I've heard of them and I've seen little videos of them. That's all I know. But cool little organism. All right, Huck, finally got some fry from my Pseudomugil mellis. Oh, that's great. And the West Java pea puffers are growing super fast on BBS. Hail the fishmonger crew. Oh, Huck, I'm so excited to hear that. That's great. I'm glad both those species are doing well, and I'm so glad you got fry from the Pseudomugil mellis, the honey blue eye. Let's get those bred and make those more accessible to people. That's such an awesome fish, and you just can't get it. I know I tried. The import that arrived today, I was hoping would contain some of those, but it did not. They did not have any. Joey Lowell, thank you for at least trying to have an answer for me. You're welcome. Is the giveaway all good? I hope so. Let's look. Yeah, there's 204 eligible users. Yeah, so it didn't turn the stream off or anything. It's still going. It's just YouTube wasn't there to connect to it. And the giveaway is done outside of YouTube through Nightbot. So yeah, we're all good. Thanks for asking. I would not have thought of that. Hey, Johnny woke up for the spreadsheeting. Oh, that's funny. Yep, more work for Johnny. So Johnny, people threw a lot of super chats down to take you to the Clash. I was like, hey, if we get enough super chats to send Johnny, we'll do it. So Stephen P was like, all right, we'll have Johnny keep them on a spreadsheet. Hashtag more work for Johnny. I thought that was hilarious. Ginger Graves just got home from work and wanted to say howdy. Well, Ginger Graves, nice to hear from you. I hope you're doing really well. Glad to see you again. Hope work was not horrible. Dare I say, good? Yeah. Okay. You know what? It's been a really long day. I think we're gonna do the giveaway now. Maybe get out of here just a little bit early. My brain is fried. But before I do that, I see something about blue galaris here, and I like blue galaris a ton. So Jody P says, my blue galaris showed up yesterday and looking amazing. They settled in nicely. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I hope you have tons of luck breeding those and raising them. Any tips or suggestions on getting rid of Hydra? Yes, but I can't remember it. I think it's flubendazole is what we used. Is that right, Johnny? I don't think it was Prozzy. I think it was flubendazole that we used for Hydra. What's the most recent shipment? Anything nice? Super nice. And in 2 weeks, I will tell you all about it. All right, with that, let's do this giveaway. So the giveaway tonight is for a group of Coolie Loaches, because who doesn't like a slimy, slithery ball of aquatic worms? I think they're such unique, awesome fish. There are 208 eligible users, and the winner is Catfish. That is a great, great avatar. That is a great picture. Cat with full yawn. Catfish, you have won. You have 2 minutes to chime in. Let us know you're here. I'm going to set a timer. 2 minutes. Timer. All right. Timer's going. When that reaches 0, you have till that reaches 0 to leave a comment in the chat to claim your winnings. If you have not done that by the time the timer reaches 0, then you forfeit your winnings, and I will draw somebody else. And we don't want that, Catfish. We want you to get your fish. So do that. See, the love continues, Johnny. Linda throwing down $5 for the Clash. So Johnny, look at this. Here's all the Clash stuff. All these super chats are to send you to the Clash. So, yeah. I mean, when is the Clash? Yeah, we should. Wait, is it? I gotta look. It's not in September, is it? Hopefully we've got some time. Keystone Clash. It's in October. Okay, so we've got some time. So I bet we can get you there. Okay, let's see, how are we doing? We still have 53 seconds. And Catfish, I don't see Catfish having chimed in yet. Yeah, I don't see it. So I think I'm gonna have to redraw here in a few seconds. Someone let me know if Catfish, yeah, no Catfish yet. That's what I thought. Yeah, we've got plenty of time for the clash. Best medication for fin rot. Someone told me Maricin won't fix it. I need Maricin too. So Alyssa, it depends totally on what's causing it. Like, the fins could be eroding because they got some damage. They could be eroding because of a gram-positive bacterial infection. Could be a gram-negative bacterial infection. It could be protozoans that are attacking a spot that got damaged. There's, like, it could be fungus. There's one thing I've learned since we built our fish diagnostic lab here, and we can, when something has an issue, actually work it up in the lab and see what's causing it. One thing I've learned is you can't tell just by looking at it. It's got fin rot. That's all we know. But fin rot is a symptom. It's not a cause. So we have to drill down into the cause. And I don't know, without looking at it, which of the many possibilities of causes it could be. I wish I could give you a simple answer. But what I will say is, oh, geez, I don't want to steer you wrong. I mean, you could have luck with erythromycin, but maybe not. You could try it, and if it doesn't work, then you could switch to, you know, a gram-negative bacteria, antibiotic of some kind. Or it could simply be some fungus, and some Icex could take care of it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't help you without knowing the cause. I would steer you wrong, and I don't want to do that. Okay, no Catfish. All right, the winner is now Robert Lambrecht. Robert Lambrecht, congratulations, you have won. That makes me happy because Robert's been a customer and in and out of this chat for a long time. So when someone that's a long time member of the community wins, that just makes me really happy. All right, you've got 2 minutes, Robert, to chime in and claim your winnings. If you don't do it in the next 2 minutes, then you forfeit your winnings, as you know, and they will go to someone else. Johnny to the Clash says, Kaler's Reptiles and Aquatics. Thank you so much, Bob. Appreciate it. Are you testing moribund fish or fresh dead or just all mortalities for diagnostics? It depends. Each situation is different. So we do whatever we need to do to find out the cause. Okay, I am going to scroll up and see if I can find another question or comment while we're waiting for Robert. And will chat let me go that far? I don't think so. Chat has jumped so many times, and I have accidentally screwed up, exited and re-entered so many times that I don't think so. Robert is here. All right. Robert, I'm here. All right, Robert, congratulations. You have won. Thank you for participating. If you would send us an email, hello@dancefish.com, that's HELLO@dancefish.com, with your first name, your last name, and your shipping address, then we will schedule a shipping date with you and get you some Kuhli loaches. Anyway, Robert, I'm thrilled you won. Thanks for participating. I want to thank the moderators for being here and doing what they do every week, volunteering their time to make this stream run smoothly. I really appreciate your help. Thank you so much. Everyone that's a member of the channel, thanks for being a member. If you gave memberships away, thanks for doing that. Woo, to the Clash for Johnny, says Lumi. Thank you so much, Lumi, for the $20 super chat for Johnny. I appreciate it. And I know Johnny does too. If you're let's see, I already did the members, people giving away memberships. Where am I? Oh yeah, if you threw money at us and helped send Johnny to the Clash, thank you for throwing money at us. I really appreciate that. I do want to send the guy to the Clash. I want to give him it'd be nice if he could take a break and go do a fish convention. That would be cool for him. Where am I? Oh yeah, if you're active in the chat, thanks for participating. If you weren't active in the chat, I still love you. Hail the Lurker Nation. If you're watching the replay, hello from the past. And if you're listening to the podcast, thanks for listening. Oh, I want to shout one thing out. It's a little late now, but if you go to the Aquarist podcast, Randy Reed had me on recently. So he and I had a nice discussion. If you want to hear me and Randy gab on about fish and the fish business and all that stuff, then check out the Aquarist podcast wherever you get podcasts. With that, I think I'm going to sign off. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.